Our intent this half hour is to check in Pennfield Township. You know, we do this from time to time, go around the region and check in with folks and see how things are going. So today it's Pennfield's turn, and Supervisor Dave Morgan is here. Good morning, sir.
Hey, Richard. Good to be back.
Glad to have you back here today. And from the Calhoun County Board of Commissioners, Steve Frisbie is here, too. Good morning.
Morning, Richard.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Now you know what I mean about the county connection here this half hour as well. And you're here, too, because Pennfield is, you know, in your purview, so to speak.
In my district, yep.
Yeah.
4th District, right. Bedford, Pennfield, and Combus. And I live in Pennfield, and I have for 34 years. So
okay.
Have a great interest in what's going on there.
How's the winter treating Pennfield, Dave?
Oh, so far, very good. We've had a great winter. The county's really been on top of the roads. We've had a great working relationship with the county, which is wonderful, and hence Steve and I being here together. I brought him here also as my bodyguard, just in case you get rough.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, could happen, I guess.
But, yeah, you couldn't ask for anybody better to work with than Steve and the rest of the county commission, and Kelly Scott over there, and the Calhoun County Road Commission's been fantastic, and taught real quick on that, our county roads, or our roads in Pennfield Township, will be finished this year in 2017, which is phenomenal. We're kind of ahead of many communities. And working with Christopher Bold over there, we've had a good working relationship, too. Steve's helped a lot with that, and we're really excited out in Pennfield to have that completed.
I presume you use the word finish loosely because, you know, roads, it's like a cycle, right? You go back and start over again. But Pennfield is ahead of a lot of other townships in having a project like this completed.
Right, and the main construction portion will be complete. Of course, then we'll go into a maintenance phase.
Yeah.
And we never want to get to where we were, so we want to be proactive to keep that from happening.
How do you expect to keep it from happening?
Well, the county's going to be rolling out a new app. It'll be next week. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm going to let the county talk about that, but they're being very proactive now about the roads. You have Christopher Bold over there, and he's been a phenomenal leader. They're going to roll this product out. The people of Pennfield will love it. Battle Creek, everybody, trust me. We've seen it.
Well, we'll talk about that in just a second, Steve. In fact, we were just talking with MDOT about how they try and keep in touch with folks using technology these days, and this is along those
everybody
lines.
has a smartphone, so there's no reason that you can't report a problem with the road. But Dave's right. You know, how we got there was a lack of maintenance. And there was no maintenance done on roads pretty much in Calhoun County for about the last 20 years before we eliminated the road commission and formed the road department. So I'm really happy that in the 4th District, including Bedford's done the same project as Pennfield. And every local road surface in those two townships will be completed by, mid-spring or early summer this year. So it's quite an endeavor.
And we'll come back and talk more about it in just a moment on 95.3 WBCK. Dave Morgan is here, Supervisor in Pennfield Township, and also today Steve Frisbie from the Calhoun County Board of Commissioners, whose district, of course, includes Pennfield. Talk about, just for a second, what Dave alluded to, Steve, about the technology and how you're keeping in touch on roads.
MICCRD, and it's a new app that's it'll help you locate exactly where you're reporting a pothole. So, or a problem with a road or drainage or whatever. So you'll be able to download it on your smartphone and report that problem and take a picture, you name it. It'll speed up the process, and then it's in a database that helps the road department manage those reported problems or known problems.
Wow.
So they can then prioritize. If they have 10 potholes in one area, they can say, hey, we need to send a crew there today. If they have one, we'll get to it as soon as we can. But when there's, multiple reports, there's tires being blown, something like that, they can say, okay, that's a priority. Let's get it taken care of.
Right on. And it seems to cut a lot of the red tape out of that, I imagine, because before there would have been a phone call or an email or something, it would have to find its way through the system.
Yeah, we've used an online reporting system, but it was an independent database. There was no way to migrate it into a manageable database to say, here's where we need to put our resources.
Right.
So we're happy about it.
Very exciting. What else is happening in Pennfield, Dave?
Well, we have quite a few things, exciting things going on in Pennfield. At the Township Hall, for instance, we're switching our hours. So starting next week, and this is by the people at Pennfield kind of requested this.
Okay.
We're going to be open Monday through Thursday. We're going to extend our hours 8 to 5. And what we were finding out is most people couldn't get there. We were closing at 4.
I see.
So we had a lot of complaints that you couldn't get out of work, get to the township on time. So what we've done, and we're only open Fridays till noon, and we just sit there by ourselves most of the Fridays. So what we're going to do, and it's also a cost saver, we're going to be open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and closed on Fridays. We're going to maintain the office, or keep the office open for lunchtime. So we'll stay open continuously from 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday. So I think it's very exciting. We're following what some other communities are doing. It's going to be a better product, a better service for our residents of Pennfield.
And they have business to do, and they want to get there around their work schedule, which may be very similar to that. Slipping over on the lunch hour or something might have been the preferred way to do it, and now you'll be there.
Oh, it's great. And we have a drop box for weekends, Fridays and weekends. We have a brand new website that'll be coming up online this weekend. So Monday our new website will be up. We're excited about that. It's phenomenal. It's going to be huge, right? Isn't that
right? Huge. That's right.
Yep. And then, of course, we have the girls over at our office who are phenomenal. You know, University of Michigan had their Fab 5. We have our sensational 7. So we have Kathy Case, who's our clerk, and she was just reelected. Deb Jackson, who's our treasurer. And then, of course, we have Karen, who's Kathy's deputy, and Sandy, who's Deb's deputy. And we have Barb Darlington and Sherry and Desiree. So customer service at our office is great. Our hours are going to be fantastic. Our website's going to be awesome.
When you talk about doing new websites, what are the concerns when you're a township about what your website should include?
Well, last year there was a survey done on all the websites. We were number 1, and we're going to continue to be number 1.
Okay.
We pretty much offer online payments, any information you want on any property within Pennfield. There's going to be a lot of information about our township. For instance, over the last 2 months, we did recognize 2 businesses, and we have a lot of great businesses in Pennfield. We recognized Pennfield Pizza, gave them a tribute at our December meeting. And then our January meeting, we recognized Ernie Lahusky and State Farm. So, and those are 2 businesses that have given a lot back to the community. And Ernie Lahusky and, the Horsemans at Pennfield Pizza have done so much. And I'm sure Steve has something he can say about both of them. But they've just been great assets to the community. And we have a lot more businesses we're going to recognize and people.
And that cool Pennfield Pizza pickup truck, I see a lot, including at the Gilmore Car Museum a lot.
Yeah, it's a
cool truck.
Cool truck.
Yeah. So, Steve, when we come back in a second, maybe we can talk a little bit about, in your position from your district, in your seat at the county board, you interact with townships like Pennfield than the others regularly, and maybe we can talk about what generally those interactions involve most of the time.
Would love to.
And we'll get to that coming up in just a moment on 95.3 WBCK. 95.3 WBCK. Dave Morgan, supervisor at Pennfield Township here, and also Commissioner Steve Frisbie as well with us today. When Pennfield calls, or Bedford, what are the interactions often that happen between the county and the townships?
Well, that's been something that's really been built up in the last 4 years since I've been in, and the relationships before were strained. Now I'm a regular visitor at township meetings and give them a county update and ask for any issues that they need to help with. So we've had issues with different county departments that I've been able to intercede and say, how do we fix this? The appraisal processes, you name it, going down the road, getting roads plowed, anything like that. And it's just nice for them to be able to have an intermediary that knows where to go, knows how to get that handled, or who to call and say, okay, that's not appropriate, we can get that fixed.
It's pretty amazing that sometimes all it takes is an open line of communication.
Well, I think when you view this job as you're serving people, it's easy to do. And that's the way I view it. I serve people.
So, Dave, you see that too, I'm sure. When there's something that needs to be done, there just needs to be a line of communication about how to get that done.
Oh, absolutely. And we have that, and Steve does a fantastic job. And it's not just at our meetings. He's out in the community all the time, and we all try to do that.
Yeah.
It's a big plus, being out in the community and hear what they're saying and react to it. And hope we serve them. That's our job.
So you're looking out on the year now. Spring is around the corner. What's number one on Pennfield's list now as we look ahead in 2017?
Well, we have a lot of exciting things. We're trying to reach out more to the community. Steve and I have talked about this, but we've taken our township to the out in the public, and we were at a basketball game the other day against Jackson Lumen Christi. So we set up our table and we're able to interact with people as they came in. This weekend, we'll be at the mom-to-mom sale at Pennfield Middle School, which is from 9 to 1 o'clock in the morning. So if you have time, it's a wonderful event. It's going to be packed, and a lot of good things happening there.
That's tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's nice that we can set our table up and we can talk to them about any issue they want. At the basketball game, for instance, State Representative Bison showed up, and he stayed with us. And so it's nice to be able to go out and see the people.
What are you hearing now when you set that table up and people come up to you? What are they most worried about?
Well, they're relieved that the roads are being finished. They like the idea that we are being proactive and changing our township hours. So, and I know they're going to love the website. So I'm really excited about that.
All right. So making it easier to connect is
yeah.
some of the things they're most worried about.
Yeah.
When you think about the township, Steve, over the next several months, what's on your mind there?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity with Dave promoting the township. The county and the townships are working together at a level where we're exploring what we can do together and share services. And I think that's huge. And I've always said when I was elected that government recreates the wheel at every level, and they don't need to. And we're not looking to eliminate a township or county government's role. That role is constitutional, but we are willing to blur the lines in what we can share administratively and lower cost and give a better product. And we're exploring things like human resources, sharing that. We have a great human resources department led by Kim Archambault, and she does a fantastic job at the county. We want to make that available to these folks. And we're at a point at the county where we'd love to have Kim have some more help in her department, but we can't afford to pay for that. Mm-hmm. But if we brought some townships on board and said, hey, you need HR services, and they do, admittedly in our first meeting, they're like, yes, we'd love that. They can't afford to pay for it in a full-time position. We can't afford to offer another position in the department, but if we work together, we get more people at the county that helps us out, spreads our overhead out. They get services that they need that they don't have now at a lower cost. Everybody wins. The taxpayer wins at that point because HR services can prevent a lot of bad things from happening in employment.
Right.
So it's things like that where we look at the opportunity to work together, and instead of going, what's your goal here? What's your real thing that you're trying to accomplish? We can just sit down and say, let's make this better. And we feel comfortable in being able to do that. And there's no thought about how is he trying to gain advantage over the county, or he's thinking how's the county trying to take us over? It's not happening. But it's good to have that relationship.
Well, and if you look at the overarching theme of that, it's something that we've been hearing about for years now. Right. You've got to figure out how to work more together. Right. I presume that pressure's on the townships too.
Well, yeah, you don't want to duplicate services, or at least as little as possible, and be as cost effective as you can in every area. And I think with the county, our relationship with them and other townships like Adam out in Bedford and Tim at Emmett, that's happening now. And I think it's very productive for everybody, and Rebecca Fleury and Kelly Scott. I mean, we really have a strong team in this area that is working together now and looking out for the taxpayer, not as Pennfield Township, not as Calhoun County, but as representatives of the people, and that's the way it should be.
Okay.
Now, we do have a couple things. Do I have a minute?
You do.
Okay. We have two huge events coming up in Pennfield. We're really proud about this one. The Pennfield Armed Forces Appreciation Day, which is going to be May 20th.
Okay.
This is something that we're going to do annually. we're going to recognize all the kids that are graduating from Pennfield High School. This year we have 8 that are graduating and going into the military. So they're going to be invited to the Township Hall. General Seacrest will be the speaker. He's going to come in and be the main speaker. State Representative Bison, he's a veteran, former lieutenant colonel. He'll be a speaker. So we'll recognize them and all the veterans living in Pennfield. The other one is Pennfield Fire Department Sheriff and Life Care, which Steve works for. We're going to have an appreciation day for them on June 17th. So we're excited about that. They're out there working for the people and keeping us safe out there and doing a lot on their own time too. But they have done a phenomenal job. We're lucky to have the Sheriff's Department. Life Care has been fantastic. And, of course, our fire department's second to none. So we're going to have an appreciation day for them and a cookout at our township. And we invite, everybody living in Pennfield out.
All right, and I imagine on that new website, all these details will be there.
They're already on there. It'll
Okay.
go live this weekend. One last thing. Steve was recognized. He won't say anything about it, but I will. He graduated from the Michigan Political Leadership Program this weekend, and we went up to Livonia and saw it, and you had Howard Dean was a speaker there, and somebody from CNN. I don't know who she was.
Yeah.
But really, the program he graduated, it's an elite program. It's very highly respected, and Steve just graduated yesterday. So,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was the goal of this?
It's bipartisan. It's an effort to, they put 12 Republicans and 12 Democrats, 12 women and 12 men typically together.
Wow.
And the goal is to focus on how we can work together and not necessarily to bend your principles or what you want to achieve, but listen and work together. It was a great program. We traveled the state in 10 months, one weekend a month, places like Roscommon and Dearborn and Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo and Lansing, you name it. And we heard things, we heard talks from people like one of the weekends we were in the Arab American Museum in Dearborn.
Yeah.
And we had the state of Michigan's immigration official, the state field office in Detroit, or the National Field Office in Detroit, Immigration's enforcement officer, and the top guy from the whole building there in Detroit. And we talked about immigration for about 2 hours. And it was just very enlightening and things that you don't get to hear about normally or are misreported or misrepresented. And it was just a wonderful opportunity to sit down with many people across the state and learn about what's going on.
Well, if you could just go, open your mind and cut through all the baloney.
Yeah.
This is what happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you just focus on, I said it earlier, we work for people. If you focus on what's good for people, it's easy to do. When you get caught up in rhetoric, it's easy to get sidetracked.
And Pennfield, the end. I know you're ready to get rid of us. I can see
we are at the end. Yeah.
No, Pennfield. We invite everybody to come out to Pennfield. Don't forget the mom-to-mom sale. And we have many names out there. Some people call us Panthers. Some say we're rural. Some say we're county. But anybody who's lived out there, and Steve's part of it, we're a family. So come on out to Pennfield.
We appreciate the update from both of you. Thank you. Dave Morgan, Steve Frisbie, 95.3 WBCK.